guys, it's your girl Chi, travel nurse, nurse practitioner student, and body competitor. And you guys have not seen me for the better half of last year. I was in the trenches, school was schooling, but I'm back, and today I'm going to share 7 things I wish I knew before I began on my journey to being a nurse practitioner. Stay tuned. So before I chose to go to NP school, these are 7 things that I wish I had known and highly considered. I mean, I would still have opted to go to nurse practitioner school because bedside ain't it.
The ghetto.
So before you get into NP school, be sure to know which specialty or have an idea of which specialty that you want to be. And you need to consider stuff like work-life balance, you know, what is gonna pay the most, where your passion lies, and what the job market will be for that specialty in 2 to 3 years when you're done with the program. Now, there's different specialties that you can choose, and of course you can specialize within those specialties, but the common are CRNA, which is anesthesiologist. Then you have your psych nurse practitioners, your women's health practitioners, you have your pediatrics, of course your family, you have your gerontologists, so your older people, and then you also have, I already said women's health, pediatrics. I think I just repeated myself, but nonetheless, you have these major specialties, but within those specialties, you can specialize some more. So it's all up to you. You gotta, look and see where in the next 3 to 4 years where you would like to end up being. A lot of people pick family nurse practitioner because it's general without commitment, but you can still go in and specialize. It just depends on what you want out of your career. The second thing which I wish I knew was you have to pick the right program for you, not for anybody else. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer brick and mortar school? Do you prefer online learning, hybrid? And then do you want to get your master's, or do you just want to go ahead and get your doctorate? Do you want to do full-time, part-time? These are things that you need to consider, like financial, because if you're going to be paying out of pocket, scholarship, out of tuition fees, all of these are super important. Not just picking a school that just lets you in because they let you in.
She think it's small. We need to be thinking big.
Another thing, a huge thing, you gotta pick a school that is accredited. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Make sure that you do your research and finding the right program. It can literally make or break your relationships. And I'm talking about your family, your kids, your significant other, just because it's such a gruesome journey, and you sometimes, or a lot of times, have to seclude because you have to study, you have tests, you have practicums, you have a whole lot of things to get ready for. And so if your family doesn't understand, or they're not educated, they're gonna feel hurt because you're missing out on events. They're gonna sometimes distract you. So it's important that you discuss with your family, like, hey, I'm about to start my nurse practitioner program. Like, this is my schedule for the semester, and each semester I do this just to give everyone an idea. So it's not like I'm choosing not to come to your event. It's just I have to stay focused. And when your inner circle knows, they're gonna be chill and they're gonna support you. But a lot of times people get offended because they're like, oh, she doesn't want to show up. No, she has tests and she is stressed, okay? So just make sure that you discuss with your inner circle, your requirements with school, how present you're going to be able to be in that season, in that semester, and hopefully will help it be a lot easier. We'll have something negative to say. Most times it's like, oh, you're not going to make as much money being a travel nurse as you would be a nurse practitioner. What are the other things they say? Oh, why would you go back to school? It's not even worth it. Different things. Mind you, they've either tried to get this advanced degree and they couldn't afford it, or they were ignorant, and then fast forward till now, they're going back to school. Yeah. So you just have to know your reasons for why you are choosing to get your advanced degree, and then cut out all the noise. That's it. One thing I wish I knew is once you get admission into your program and you start, literally your whole existence revolves around school. school.
And I work like a dog day and night.
I know that's hard to believe. I know that sounds weird, but literally you're planning your work around school, you're planning your vacations, you're planning everything around school till you graduate. And it kind of feels like school has you by a chokehold, but I kind of feel like I'm laying this foundation for myself and I'm struggling now so I don't have to struggle later. So you gotta pick your heart. Your clinical experience is completely up to you. Well, let me not say completely, but majority. Now, if you have a good preceptor, they will make sure that you are engaged, that you are honing in on your skills. They will give you tasks to complete, ask you pertinent questions, cause you to think. But if you're not proactive, then you're not gonna get that much out of your clinical experience. So I take the proactive approach. I ask questions, I make sure that I'm engaged. If there's any medication that we prescribed, I make sure to Google it afterwards. You know, you really wanna make sure that you're getting the most out of your clinical experience. And bonus, if your school does not help you with clinical placement, run.
I'm out!
I mean, that's just on me, okay? That's how I feel. Because finding clinical placement is so hard. Finding a clinical preceptor, it is like super difficult. Either you can't find one, or they're all booked, or preceptors want you to pay for the time that they're precepting you. Which I understand is kind of like a nursing school coming to your unit, wanting you to have students, cool, understand. But most people don't know that if you precept, that counts as CU hours, you know, continuing education hours. And then why and how can I pay an extra $1,500, right, after I finish paying for school? Be for real. Be for real. Okay, like I'm already on the struggle bus and then you think I have magical coins saved up to pay you? That's wild. So if your school does not have some sort of clinical placement specialist or clinical placement helper or something, you're most likely gonna have to pay out of pocket. You're most likely going to have to pay a company to help you find preceptors and then still pay the preceptors. Like, it's a whole hassle. So if you can avoid it, avoid it. If not, then, you know, buckle up, you know, because sometimes not finding preceptors can push you back a semester, even a whole year, or even cause you to transfer, you know, programs. So it's something to consider, and it's super highly, it's very critical when you're considering the right program, when you're considering going back to school to get your advanced degree. So that's all the things that I wish I had known, or at least my top 7, that I wish I'd known before I started on my nurse practitioning journey. And if you guys have any comments, if you agree, go ahead and comment below, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on my next video. Bye.